Hey everyone, welcome back. I know it's been quite a bit since I posted my last video, but there's been some stuff keeping me busy in the meantime, but I hope to be starting to post more consistently now, and I wanted to start by sort of sidetracking off of the various other series we have ongoing with CTF challenges and the over-the-wire stuff, the Nmap stuff, because I wanted to talk about a CTF that's going on right now. This is the NahamCon 2023, which is a 48-hour CTF competition that runs from June 15th to June 17th, and by the time I post this, it will probably be done because I don't want to post, anything active going on. But you can see, if you haven't heard of NahamCon, it's hosted by NahamSec, and I think John Hammond has a big part in some of the challenges here, as well as setting up the whole thing. So you see some of the sponsors here. So obviously we have SNCC, we have Hack the Box, so Android, some big things here. If we look at the challenges here, there's a bunch. You can see some of the warm-up ones here. I'm mostly going to stick with the easy ones if I record any at all. There is one that I wanted to take a look at. You see some of the harder ones here, a lot of mediums. But yeah, there are a lot of challenges here. You can see a lot of people are starting to get solves on these already within the 4 hours since this started. But it looks like this one is the most popular, this online chat room one, with already 319 solves. It's an easy challenge. Oh, and it's written by John Hammond. So I'm going to check this one out and see what we can do here. And it looks like it gave us a link to connect with, so I'm just going to open this up in a new tab, and then please allow 30 seconds for the challenge to become available. Perfect. And it looks like there's an attachment there, so we have a main.go file, so it looks like this was written in Go. So let's download that. And you can see we have a spot here for the flag. Let me zoom in if you can't see that easily. Let's roll with that. Let's see what this chat room has to offer. And you can see we have an online chat room. You can see there it appears to be the window here for the text box. So I'm just going to write in a simple message here. Let's just say hello. And you can see, obviously, it appeared there under user 0. Interesting. I'm just going to try some various different things here. I honestly have no methodology on what I'm trying here. So why don't we take a look at the main.go file that we downloaded previously. So I already have this opened up here in VS Code, but you can use Sublime Text, whatever you're most comfortable with. So you can see we have several different imports here. WebSocket is one here, so that appears to be the method of communication for this chat app, which is quite common. But let's maybe go down a bit. And I'm just trying to see if there's any sort of logic in terms of, the text input to see if it's maybe vulnerable to something. But to be honest, I'm not super familiar with Go, but assuming this is an easy challenge, there should be something easy enough for us to figure out. And you can see here there's a bunch of different I guess, I don't know if these are functions, but these are called cases. You can see one called exclamation mark history. There's one, what's the next one here? Exclamation mark date. And you can see it's sort of outputting a response here depending on what we input in this value here. So you can see in the date example here, it's sort of formatting this string. So you can see server date is, and then it's appending the current time in that RFC format. And it appears to be writing the message to the actual output here. So if we go back, what if we just try putting in that exclamation mark date as if it's like some sort of command that's sometimes common in a chat application. And you can see there, so server date is, and it's giving us that server time. So what was the other one there? History. Please request a valid history index 1 to 11. Interesting. Let's see what the other commands are. So we have users, we have help, and then write, and then, help is just going to list commands. So let's run help and see if there's any that weren't mentioned there. So you can see we have, interesting, history wasn't mentioned there, so that might be something to explore, but let's try users, for example. So you can see we have online users. This is apparently us, and I guess 4 other users. Interesting. And then I guess that's it. Well, write test. So that's just going to write a message to the chat as if we just typed it out. Interesting. So I want to look at this history command a bit more. Let's go back into the code and try to find that history one. It's the first one here. So it wants you to submit an index as well when you call this command, and it can't be anything greater than the length of chat history. Otherwise, there's going to be this please request a valid history index. So without going too far down a rabbit hole, let's just see what happens, I guess, if we just give it, history, and let's just say 1. Okay, so that's just replaying the same message. What if we put 2? Oh, interesting. So we're getting all of our previous messages that were typed out, right? So if we put 3, I'm assuming we're going to get this string here. Yeah. So what if we put 0? You know, anytime you have an input like this that's expecting something, you know, what if you try messing with it? And you can see there we're getting a valid history index. So what if we put -1, for example? Okay, same thing. So it looks like, well, I don't know. What if we put 13 instead of 12? Oh, there we go. So, okay. Looks like that was all there was to it. I was here before all of you. Here's your flag for finding me. So it looks like we have that flag there. So I guess that was it. It was just messing with that, you know, index there, giving it a value that it wouldn't expect. Like if we put 14, that's not going to work. I guess it's just 1 over. That's going to allow us to get that flag. Interesting. Somewhat applicable to some vulnerable applications, but yeah, that's an interesting one. So let's just see if that flag works. Yeah, looks like that worked. Just me from the future here. I wanted to just quickly revisit this challenge just to explain it a bit more, because it was kind of bugging me. Like, yeah, we can get the answer by, you know, inputting 1 greater than you know, the length of the history. But why is that? Let's go back to the actual code that we were looking at in this main.go code here. So this first bit here is just making sure that we input the actual history command with that exclamation mark history. And then this next line here is basically just going to trim that from the output. So if we go back, just for example, we don't get this history command in the actual output of the text. So what we really want to look at is the logic of basically how it's finding that index. So you can see here we have this you know, if statement here, so it's checking to make sure there are no errors that were previously caught up here, and then it's checking, so you see we have this range here that's being defined. So we have index greater than 1, so obviously we can't put in you know, history 0, for example, because it needs to be, you know, greater than 1, that value. And then for the end of the range, it's basically looking at, it's making sure that the value we submit is either less than or equal to the actual length of the chat history. So, you know, each message or whatever would probably be in an array somewhere, and each index or iteration of that array would be part of this chat history. So basically the number we provide cannot be greater than the index, but it can be equal to the index. And so the trick here is that, you know, we're seeing here in this output, please request a valid history index 1 to 9. So that's the range that the app is giving us, but is that really, you know, the final value? Because obviously we know the trick to this is that there's going to be a range 10. So if we put history 10, well, we're going to get, you know, the answer there. So clearly it's not 9. And the way we can verify that is if we look in here. So it's actually injecting that integer within this string here. So what it's doing is it's converting that integer to a string, but you can see here, just barely gets cut off there, but it's looking at the length of the chat history again, -1. So that's why it's giving us 9 instead of 10, because, you know, computers count from 0, you know, it's giving us that outputted length -1. So that's something that if we spot, we could have, you know, immediately, you know, tried doing 10, but I just wanted to clear that up, why that's working, why, you know, we can do 10, but not 11, because 11 is out of that index range. 10 isn't, but, you know, 10 is not what the application's telling us, just because of that -1 or that -1 operation being done to the outputted index string there, if that makes sense. So hopefully that explains it in a bit more detail. It was kind of bugging me. I was like, there's obviously an easy way to explain this, but I kind of just brushed over it, and that's not what I want to do. I want to make sure that you know, every solution is covered and sort of at least dissected in a deeper level at some point, even though this is, you know, a relatively very simple challenge. So yeah, hopefully that wasn't too long, but just wanted to add that to the end there. So thanks for watching. All right, well, that was a really quick one. I don't know, maybe I'll do some more. See how much I can record tonight. But anyways, thanks for watching this, and if there are more, please enjoy those. If not, I hope you had a chance to check out the CTF. If not, it's you know, it's an annual thing, but I'm pretty sure it's still going to be open after the fact, so you can always just go in and check out some of these. A lot of them look cool, a lot of them look way beyond my knowledge, but we will see. Maybe we can learn something. So thanks again, and take care. Hope to be posting more soon.